Hello and welcome back. Okay, so now we've covered from basic settings to email settings. So I hope you've gone and made sure you've applied all these settings to your portal. For now, we're going to just skip the default pricing and our item settings and go down to labor and then tax. Tags and accounting will also cover further, but let's just finish off these basic settings. So let's just click on labor. So our labourer just sets an hourly rate, and this will come more clearly later. So you can see here we've got a rate of $80 an hour, so you can just set that to whatever. I would just suggest start at 60, as 60 is per hour is easy to understand. It's basically $1 per minute. That's all we need to do here. Don't worry about this too much. So we just want to change our rate and click save. Okay, so once you've done that, the rate should now be set to $60 an hour. We'll move down to our tax. Now, depending on which country you are, you need to make sure that your markup, and it has to be markup, not static or anything else, markup. Here we've got 10%, we're in Australia. If you're in New Zealand, it could be 15%, or UK, it could be up to 20%, I believe. Next, you also just put in your ABN, if it's an ABN or business number, whatever your country refers it to, your tax number and the type of tax that you're applying, GST, VAT, etc. So all we need to do for these two, we'll do one more in this quick video, and that's the default pricing. So let's click on default pricing. And here, by price, so I only want to cover just this set of markups and nothing else at this stage, and they'll become more clear later. So we're going to do the buy is the cost of what comes in from your suppliers. I always suggest to leave that on default, as that's the cost price. If you live in the middle of nowhere and you get higher freight, you could mark up all your items by 1 or 2% just to cover some extra freight if you like. But otherwise, I would suggest leaving that on default. Sell is a markup you apply to those cost price or the buy price that comes in. Now, because it's a default price, I'm just going to suggest to put a single markup of, say, 200 or 300% on your items. So these default prices are only applied if you have no other markups on items or individual items. So, for instance, if you added a new retail item, say you decide to sell some prints, and you put a cost price in for the prints for $100, but you didn't put a sell price, it would automatically default to the default pricing markup of 200%. Okay, so that's why I'm suggesting the sell price, just put a default markup. It's like a fallback markup. Okay, so wastage, again, for now, let's just leave this on default. We'll cover more of these things once we've got some jobs in the system and you can see how they're all calculating. And then this will be much clearer to do afterwards than trying to set this up for now. So again, we'll leave that default. The only change we're making here is a markup on our sell and put in either 200 or 300%. Okay, so just make sure you click save. Okay, so what we need to do now, the next video, we're going to start creating sales. So we're going to leave our basic settings for now, and we're going to go start creating sales. Then, once we've created about 10 sales, we'll come back and we'll run through the markups. Okay, but we do need to do these sales first. So watch the next video on creating sales.